thank you so much for coming in and talking with us. We really appreciate it. This is going to be on the Young Professional Network, talking to the younger demographic of the Joplin Chamber. If you could just tell us your name and what district you're running for.
I'm SHELLY Dryeyer, and I'm running for the 129th District, which is entirely in Joplin city limits.
Entirely? That's usually they have a piece of something so that's unique.
Well, it does dip down into Newton County, but it is all within city limits. But that does not mean that all of Joplin that is in the city limits is in the 129. It's actually kind of split up between the 128 and the 129.
Right. So how'd you get into this race?
Well, I was really interested in politics when I was younger. My degree in undergraduate is in political communications. I worked when I was in college on the Bush campaign when Bush ran against Dukakis, probably before you were born. Well, maybe not quite that early, but I got involved into it, and then after school, after college, after law school, I really spent my time, like most young professionals, developing a business, developing my profession, starting a family, that type of things. And even though you try to stay up on what's going on politically, sometimes it's very hard to do because life kind of takes over. And when Ron Richards' seat came open, I was in a situation, or I am in a situation, where I can go to Jefferson City, and because my husband owns his own business, and he and my daughter can go with me, and I am in the business where I can actually be away for the time that it takes to go to Jefferson City. So when this opportunity came up, I thought, this is a time to really be able to step up to the plate and try to make a difference for people, because I am in the unique situation that I can do this.
Mm-hmm. You said you were building a career and a family, and could you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I grew up in southwest Missouri, but I ended up going to law school up at Mizzou. And after that, I moved to St. Louis and worked in an insurance defense firm for a while. And then I wanted to do something in a smaller setting and work more closely with people. And I moved out to St. Charles County, and there I partnered up with another attorney, and we had our own business, had numerous attorneys working for us. And also, while I was there, I became a judge for one of the municipalities there. And everything was going great. Business was going well. I loved being a judge. But when it came time to start having my family, there's no place like home. And I wanted to be back to southwest Missouri, where my family is and where it's the best place in the world to raise a family.
Yeah.
So that brought me back to southwest Missouri.
Great. So when you are elected, or if you're elected, what do you think will be some of your priorities or things that you would like to see happen?
Well, my focus is the family, and the number one issue facing families right now is the economy. It doesn't matter whether both people in the family, both parents have a job, you're still affected by the economy. Everyone is being affected. So the number one focus we have to have right now is what can we do to decrease the unemployment rate and also to attract more businesses to southwest Missouri. We're in a unique situation right here in southwest Missouri where we're competing with Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas. My number one focus is what can we do to attract business, that limited amount of business that's out there, to southwest Missouri, and also what can we do to ensure the businesses that we have here are successful and able to stay in business and continue to grow.
So how do we do that?
Well, it's not a simple answer. I think we have to work on many things, and the Joplin community has done an excellent job on focusing on that. It's more than just tax incentives to create jobs. When employers are looking to move to an area, they look at the community as a whole. Right. How is the education system? How are the parks? How is the transportation system, meaning are you close to a highway? Do you have a public transportation system? Those types of things. So of course we need to work on tax incentives for businesses and attracting businesses to compete with other states, but we also have to work on our infrastructure here in southwest Missouri to continue to make it very attractive to businesses.
Right. Now, with being in Missouri, we can't create our own currency. So we can either raise taxes or we can cut services. Those are two unfriendly options. When you're looking at a tough decision, tough choices, how do you decide? What guides you? How do you make that decision?
Well, I think there's actually a third choice there too, and that's to be more efficient. We can work to be more efficient in the services that we provide. we're going to have to make cuts. I don't think there's any way around that. The person who goes to Jefferson City, or the people who go to Jefferson City this upcoming year, are going at a very difficult time. And I'm sure everyone who's ever served thinks it's a very difficult time. But, you know, we're in a very difficult economic time, and in 2012, the federal stimulus money that's been used to shore up Missouri's budget is going to run out. If the unemployment rate does not go down and Missouri general revenues go back to where they were pre-recession times, then there's no doubt we are going to have to make more cuts. $500 million last year was a lot, but we're talking about possibly $1 billion in cuts. And so whoever goes is probably not going to be popular, but they're going to have to probably make some cuts. I don't think raising taxes is appropriate. People are struggling enough as it is right now. Putting additional burden on them is not going to be the answer. I think quite the opposite. I think we need to decrease taxes, decrease the burden of taxes on businesses so that they can afford to put more money back into their business and employ more people. Take the burden off of individuals so that they have more of their own money to spend on items, and spending that money will then give the economy a boost.
Shelley, some people might say you just you had a oxymoronic statement there, because if we have government and we have efficiency.
Yes, it is an oxymoron. It is an oxymoron. Well, in some ways, government needs to be ran more like business. Now, business, the whole purpose is to make money, generally. And of course, the government's purpose is not to make money. So in that regard, it's not going to be ran like a business. But if something's not getting results, stop doing it. Do something different. Right. As having a business, being a business owner, I know that you're very careful in how your money's spent. You make sure you get the most efficient use of every dollar, and the government's going to have to do that. And if you don't have the money, don't spend the money. It's just something we have to learn.
Yeah. Is there anything in Joplin proper where we're at that you see hasn't worked well that maybe we do need to look at changing?
I do. You know, Joplin actually has a history of